Okay, so here we are again looking at three different diagrams showing a compressional wave or a longitudinal wave with the compressions and the rarefactions. The first one up there is kind of like your slinky, and they've shown that from one wavelength. You can see it goes from one compression to the very next compression. Notice that that's at the very same spot. The other one shows from one rarefaction to the next rarefaction. So that, again, that's showing the wavelength of the wave. As long as it's from one spot to the next identical spot on the next occurrence in that wave, then you have a wavelength. Then you have the animation, kind of like we did before on slide 6. This one is showing, again, the air particles. It's kind of an optical illusion because if you look at the movement there, you would think that the energy, those dots are actually moving from right to left, which that's actually the energy that is being moved. If you just look at one of those dots, again, choose any one of those dots, you'll notice that the dot itself just moves to the right and then back to the left. So it just goes back and forth, back and forth. And that movement makes those compressions and rarefactions, and that makes the wave that what we see. And so again, it's kind of like an optical illusion because you're seeing the energy move all the way down. If we go back to longitudinal and think about those lines of movement, remember the energy here is moving right to left, and the particles are also moving right and left. So those two lines of movement are parallel. And then you can see at the bottom, the third diagram there shows you the compressions and the rarefactions. It's showing a tuning fork, which we have some of those in the hands-on lab that you'll get to play with. You strike the tuning fork and it vibrates so many vibrations per second, which plays a note. They call it a tuning fork because it used to be able to be used to tune instruments. You would strike those and you'd have a middle C, and you would tune your guitar or your piano. You'd tune the wires until it made that it matched that pitch that was being played. These days we have electronic tuners and we don't need the old tuning forks, but we do have some that you'll actually get to see and you'll actually get to hear in class. So these are just three other representations of the longitudinal wave. Remember, sound is a longitudinal wave.